What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy. First things first here today, President Biden is going to be sending at least 1,500 active military troops to the southern border here in the United States. That's right, as apparently even Biden is expecting a massive surge of illegal migrants crossing into the U.S. border. This comes as at least 2 million illegal migrants have already crossed the border. And now we might be seeing even more as Biden is calling in active military to the border. So things could be getting a lot worse here. That's right. Take a look here.
The breaking news involving the U.S. border with Mexico. President Biden sending 1,500 active duty U.S. troops to the southern border as Border Patrol agents brace for the end of Title 42. That's the pandemic era rule that allowed the U.S. to turn migrants away because of concerns over COVID. Title 42 set to expire next week. They're expecting an even larger surge after that. The Pentagon tonight saying those U.S. troops could arrive as soon as next week. They will be deployed for a 90-day period. The White House tonight saying the troops will not have a law enforcement role, nor will they interact with migrants. So tonight here, what will their role be? And this evening, our team with Border Patrol officials on the border there, they are expecting this rush of migrants, and they say they welcome any help. Border towns are already stretched. El Paso declaring a state of emergency, saying 1,350 migrants arrive there every day already. And tonight, the presidents who have deployed troops to the southern border before, the White House insisting this time it is temporary again. ABC's Maria Villarreal leading us off with what she witnessed. She's in Texas tonight.
Tonight, with President Biden set to send active troops to the border, this is the scene we witnessed there. Waves of migrants surging across the Rio Grande River into the U.S. We are there with Border Patrol before dawn.
There's 5 here with 2 children. All of them are from Mexico. There's a good chance that this group right here will quickly get processed and will be back in Mexico by the end of the day.
Border Patrol agents are now bracing for the number to soar as more migrants try to cross into the U.S. when Trump-era COVID restrictions, known as Title 42, end next week. Those restrictions allowed the U.S. to send migrants back because of COVID concerns. Chief Raul Ortiz telling us with Title 42 expiring, he needs more help on the front lines.
I don't have enough agents, I don't have enough infrastructure, I don't have enough technology. I have other areas where I think our agents have really locked down the border security situation.
Tonight, President Biden announcing he will send 1,500 active duty troops to the border for the next 90 days. But the White House making it clear they will not have a law enforcement role.
These personnel will be performing administrative tasks like data entry and warehouse support. They will not be performing law enforcement functions or interacting with immigrants or migrants.
In a recent U.S. deal with Mexico, the country agreed to annually accept up to 360,000 Cuban, Haitian, Nicaraguan, and Venezuelan migrants who cross into the U.S. without a valid passport. But Mexico will not take them all, and the Biden administration is allowing some migrants from south of the border to apply while in their home countries for temporary legal status before getting here. And tonight, as our team has witnessed, border towns are already strained. El Paso declaring a state of emergency. 1,350 migrants are arriving every day, and that's before Title 42 expires. The U.S. will no longer turn back migrants, citing COVID concerns.
Sí, muchísima gente.
This young woman who came to the U.S. saying there are many more coming, trying to escape violence and economic collapse back home.
David, the chief tells me he needs the most help with processing. Just this afternoon, I spoke with a number of agents. They say they welcome the help from these troops. They will be in support roles like watching cameras or helping with transportation, allowing agents to be agents right now in a critical moment. David?
One more question on this tonight, Maria. Our thanks to you. Let's get right to our chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce, also with us on this. And Mary, the White House knows what's likely coming here with Title 42 expiring, an issue they have to deal with. The American people are watching closely. And give us some context here. They're not the first administration to send active duty troops to the border.
David, they certainly are not. Presidents from George W. Bush to Trump to Obama have all sent troops to the border for vastly different reasons. But officials that I have talked to here stress and insist this is not some show of force, noting that these additional troops are not being sent in a law enforcement capacity. They are there simply to assist and perform those administrative tasks. This is now one of many new additional steps that the administration has announced as they brace for this, including surging asylum officers and immigration judges to the border, along with cracking down on migrants who try to cross into the U.S. illegally. The bottom line here tonight, the Biden administration is trying to get ahead of this impending surge and get ahead of the political firestorm they know is likely coming, David.
All right.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people have for a while think that the border issue has been a disaster. We've had over 2 million illegal immigrants cross the border illegally here just in the past, really since Biden has become president. And it's been a nightmare. It's been a nightmare. And will it get even worse? We'll see here. Biden has sent these active military troops there. And look at this. This is unbelievable to me. Some top Democrats are actually criticizing Biden for doing this, saying, quote, unacceptable. Top Democrats rip Biden's plan to send 1,500 more troops to the southern border. Senator Bob Menendez says, quote, deploying military personnel only signals that migrants are a threat that require our nation's troops to contain. And I mean, I think that most people would agree if they're coming illegally, then, I mean, it's not the proper way to come. And with the border being, you know, arguably at the worst condition it is, even with the wall there, and I mean, of course, there's a lot of controversy over that. Biden has actually patched and fixed parts of the wall, which is a stark change of policy than when he took over as president, where he was just completely against it. He's actually fixed parts of it now because I think he realizes how bad the situation is. Imagine if it wasn't even there, how many people would be crossing. I think that it's basically just a free-for-all down there, and we just need a lot more agents and really all the help we can get down there. So these active military personnel are going to go down there, 1,500 more bodies to help out in what they're calling face-to-face combat type of situations, or, apprehending people, but they're going to be placed in, like data type of situations, which will free up the actual Border Patrol agents to go and do their jobs, because they're trained to do that type of stuff on a daily basis. They're not temporary people. And this way they can go and do the apprehending and capturing and, all that type of stuff here. They're not temporary people, right? I guess that makes sense, right? So you guys can let me know your thoughts here on this, but this is a significant problem that's probably going to be getting worse. A lot of people are saying, well, why is Title 42 expiring? This goes back to the pandemic expiring, okay? And this is the thing. It's like, is the pandemic over? Yes, no. Well, the virus is obviously still here. We know that the virus is not gone, C-19, and that's the thing here. So the pandemic has been declared over, and what to say about that? So that's the problem. So somewhere around 15 to 18 million people are going to be losing Medicaid benefits because that has been declared over. A lot of Republicans were pushing for that to be over so we could get back to normal ways of life, at least, not counting, the people getting sick. I don't know if we can ever go back to a normal way of life with the virus, without the virus. You guys can let me know your thoughts here in the comments. it does seem like we're back to a mostly normal way of life if you're not catching the virus, right? Like we're not walking around with masks and stuff. Most places, like if we go back a couple years ago, everybody was wearing a mask in the grocery store. Things were a lot different. On the other hand, though, our family has caught the virus here twice recently, right? So with that being said, and you know, the thing about it is that like we they were really like within 6 months of each other, okay? And we went 2.5 years without catching the virus at all. And the natural immunity really didn't work for us because we caught the virus once. We went to Disney, caught it there. And then you would think that, you know, they say the natural immunity is supposed to give you the antibodies and blah, 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 blah. And we really caught it again the second time. And the natural immunity really from the virus itself really didn't protect us from not catching it again. And it was only, let me think about this, like 5 months later or so. So I don't know, maybe we got a lesser case of it, maybe. I mean, how do you know if it was lesser or not? But we definitely did catch it again for a second time. And, you know, that's the problem. Like, does natural immunity even exist from the virus? How do you know? How do you know? So that's a question here that maybe can't be answered. You know, they've done tests, and you know, I've seen some recent tests that say that it does provide natural immunity for up to 11 months, they're saying, but then it didn't really work in our case. I don't know. Maybe we got a lesser case of it, but how do you know that? So let me know your thoughts here in the comments, but nonetheless, Title 42 is expiring, and now they're saying we're going to get a massive influx of even more illegal migrants, as if there wasn't enough. Pandemic-era benefits and bonuses are expiring. We've already seen extra SNAP benefits expire for tens of millions of Americans. Medicaid benefits are going to be expiring. Up to 18 million people are going to be losing Medicaid benefits. And now we're going to see a massive influx of illegal migrants at the border. And who knows what else. I'll keep you up to date here with this and everything else happening here in our country on a daily basis. So if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe, click the bell icon afterwards. And thanks so much for liking and sharing these videos. Here's some videos you should watch next. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy actually made a massive announcement here in this video. I was pretty shocked here. Or you can watch this video here from Jerome Powell and the Fed and what's happening here with our country on that. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.